Berla Mundi is a TV personality at Media General. At some point in time, she used to work at EIB Network, and people were wondering why she left EIB Network. Others were saying that she felt so uncomfortable working at EIB Network. Others also said that EIB Network have sacked her due to certain things she couldn't do. Others were also of the view that, hey, TV3 has gone to buy her, and there are a whole lot of allegations about her leaving EIB Network to join Media General. Just recently, over the weekend, Berla was invited as a guest speaker for a program, an educational program. And during that educational program, she was asked to come and give a talk, a speech on how someone can become successful in life. It was during the talk that she mentioned that she, for example, during her work experience at EIB Network, she was reluctant to go because at some point in time she felt that working at EIB Network was the only solution to her problem, and that there was no other media house that can contain her or make her feel welcome as she was feeling then at EIB Network. She mentioned that along the line, while she was enjoying life, enjoying fame, certain things started happening which was not to her favor. According to her, she said that people started backbiting her. There were hatreds here and there, people saying a whole lot of things against her, where sometimes she herself was even surprised that she was involved in such issues. According to her, she said that in fact she was feeling so uncomfortable working there. Though she was always working, there seemed to be that people did not like what she was doing, always framing things against her, pulling her down, trying to sabotage her. In fact, she was feeling so down working there. She realized that the atmosphere, the temperature, the conditions there was not favorable. So she didn't really want to go to work as she used to wake up in the morning and wanted to go to work. And she said that at some point in time, her program started at 3. She would get to the office at 2:45, and then when the boss complained, she'd be like, oh boss, sorry, I was doing something else. But deep down within her, she realized that she wasn't growing again. She was stagnant. She wasn't making a difference as she wished to do. And during those times, it was then that TV3, Media General, were trying to lure her into working with them. But she was reluctant because she felt that maybe if she leaves EIB Network and join Media General, she might not enjoy the benefit that she's supposed to enjoy. And in fact, the salary that EIB Network were giving her was way smaller than that of TV3. So if she accepted TV3's proposal, she would have enjoyed life. But she was thinking that, what if I go? What if this program that they have asked me to go and do, it doesn't succeed? What if people don't watch me again? What if I become a failure? What if I become a flop? What if a whole lot of what if? And then she felt so scared to move. Then as time went on that she was reluctant, she felt that at some point in time, God in his own power made people to turn against her. So making people turn against her, now she got tired. One day she called TV3, though they were tired of her too. She called TV3 and said, you know what, do I still have the opportunity to come and work with you? And then they said yes. But you know what, Berla, you've always been disappointing us. So this time around, we are not going to announce your coming. We are not going to make a big deal out of it. So it depends on you. If you come, fine. If you don't come too, we lose nothing. Then she decided, okay, this is it. I am making that bold decision. I am leaving EIB Network to join Media General. And as it stands now, she realized that she made the bold decision. She made the best decision of her life, because when she moved from EIB Network to join Media General, she has never ever regretted it. So she's encouraging each and every one of us that at some point in time, certain things come your way and you are so scared to make a difference. But you know what? The difference you are scared to make might be your breakthrough. So never give up, and you will definitely make it in future.
So, latter part of my days at GH1, things had become very tough. I felt like I had grown to a certain limit and the platform could not offer me what I wanted anymore. But I was afraid to make that bold step to leave. And that was because my whole journey as a broadcast journalist had started with GH1. I felt like I owed the company, something, a favor, or my career. And so it was going to be very difficult for me to say finally that I'm done and I need to move. I was looking for a way to move because things had become very difficult. I just wasn't finding myself in that space anymore. And so So I had just started the late afternoon show. Just 1 year into it, I had won an award. Then there's an opportunity for me to move, and I'm thinking, I fought so hard to have this show go on air. Because when I wanted it on air, my bosses said, I'm sorry, this is not going on air. We're not letting you leave your previous show because we're not sure we can find anybody to replace you. And so instead of creating a void, we'd rather you stay there and just plateau. But I had interviewed everybody that mattered in the music industry, in the arts industry, and I was tired because a month later, the same person will come and I have to now think of what other question to ask because I was recycling them over and over. My bosses said no. I had to fight. I had to cry. There were guests who would walk into the building and they'll find me crying and they're thinking, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, my bosses don't want me to start my new show. And it was all very upset because they just didn't understand the backstory of it. So if my calculation is right, the final move I made was in September. So maybe about 5-6 months. Now, while I was there, things took a turn because I was disobedient. I knew I had to go, but I wasn't going. So God said, if that's the case, thank you. If that's the case, then I'm going to make it even more difficult for you. So now all the negative things that had to happen would happen. The backbiting started. There were a lot of accusations here and there. There were people who were treating me like I didn't matter. And I just didn't understand what it meant. But it was just God making the space uncomfortable for me. So eventually, I just told my manager that, you know what, let's see if there's still an opportunity at TV3. So we started having that conversation. They said, well, there is an opportunity still. We left that slot open for you. However, you need to assure us you're coming because we're not going to put together all the materials, getting ready to announce, and you won't come again. And I said, oh, I'm very sure I'm going because at that time I had had it. I just couldn't take it anymore. I didn't see myself growing at that point. I was more depressed than, so I'll come to my show. If my show started at 3 o'clock, I'll get to work at 2:45. People are making you uncomfortable in the space you're in, but it's not the people. It's God working through those people. So don't waste your time hating the people. You might feel some anger towards them, but over time you need to let it go. Because if you don't heed to that call and move out of that space, you won't grow. You'll be stuck.